been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
What's going on, guys? Tristan and Tony back with another episode of the One Hell of a Life Outdoor Podcast. What's going on, Dad?
Well, you know what? We're in the first week of May.
Yep.
And that inches us one more spot closer to getting back into hunting seasons. And but you know, I think we all need that break, and we all got honeydews and things that we need to get done so that we can go out and have a good time come this fall. So while it's necessary, it's also it sucks waiting.
Yep, 100%. Well, today we have on Brandon Thompson for the second time. Thank you, Brandon, for joining us again, man. We had a lot of fun with you last time, and we're excited to just get to catch up, and always good talking to a Florida outdoorsman.
Brandon.
It's always a pleasure, man. I love getting on here talking with you guys, and especially about the outdoors, and my old crazy wild firecracker of a dog, Odie. Talking about him and everything else under the sun in between, man. It's always a pleasure, man. Always.
Well, awesome, man. Well, thank you for coming back on. For people that didn't, listen to the first podcast or maybe don't follow you on social or whatever, can you kind of just give people a reminder, like where you're from, what you do, and all that good stuff, man?
Yeah, man, for sure. So I am Eazy Livin on Instagram, but everybody knows me as Eazy. My real name is Brandon Thompson. I am a barbershop owner of Easy Living Studios in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. That is my hometown where I grew up. I was born and raised in, so I'm very thankful and blessed to have a business that I own and operate in my own town. Into the outdoors very heavily, fishing and hunting. That's my passion. I've collided both of my passions into one. So if you ever come and get a chance to come to Florida, you stop by my shop, 536 Canal Street in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. You'll see both of my passions like in one space. I got a lot of taxidermy stuff. I got a lot of pictures and just a lot of things to look at, and just to spark interest in the outdoors. I've been in the outdoors about 7 or 8 years now. It's the best journey I've ever taken in life. It's taken me places and have given me opportunities to meet people and hunt with certain people and just build relationships that will take me a long way in life and a long way on this journey of being an outdoorsman. So, yeah, man, that's just a little bit of who I am. I mean, it's a lot to me. It's a lot of different sectors, but hey, man, that's easy living. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, you mentioned your shop, dude, and I've seen some pictures recently on your Instagram, and it's looking like really good in there. I know you got the 24/7 hunt like neon sign in there, and saw the Gunner Kennel flag, and it looks good.
So, this is a backstory on my shop. So before I became a barber, I was into AC. I did AC work, HVAC. I was a certified, universally certified HVAC technician. I did that for 6 years.
Okay.
I lived in Ocala at the time, and I was working for a service company called Sunshine AC. They're really big over in Ocala. They run like 3 different counties. Well, long story short, the owner of the villages, the guy that owns the villages, I had the pleasure of servicing his units, okay?
What?
But not only him, it was another guy that did all the underground piping for the villages. So
Wow.
They both were like really, really good friends and all this other stuff. Well, the one guy that did the piping and all the underground for the 32.4 square miles of the villages, I had a chance to go to his museum, basically like his man cave. And
Wow.
It just so happened to be an old plantation house that was a part of like slavery times, and then it was like Civil War times here in Florida. He owned that property. He had bison on the property. Like it was absolutely nuts, right?
Wow.
So the plantation house was exactly what I'm saying it was. It had slave quarters. It was it was what it was. But in this house, he had so many bass and so many racks of deer. It was absolutely crazy everywhere you look. So in the back of this plantation house, there was another house that was built exactly like it. I'm talking about big old pillars on the outside, big old French doors. It was huge, right? But it was more modern on the inside. So whenever we had to do the AC on that place, I would like be ecstatic because it was an all day thing. It was like 8 units at this place. So ended up going and looking in his man cave, and when I tell you, I have seen every piece of taxidermy there can ever be. That he had it. Like, he had every animal that you could harvest pretty much in this place. And what was more impressive to me was he had over 120 registered Florida deer hanging on his wall.
What?
Over 120. When I tell you over 120, it might have been his sons, his uncles, like everybody within his family. But literally, I counted over 120, and it said Florida registered deer with the year on a placard, like shoulder mount, perfect. I'm talking about. Oh my
gosh,
bro!
Absolutely nuts, man. So my shop, in a nutshell, I always wanted it to resemble a real, true outdoorsman's man cave. Not just hunting, but fishing. And then not just fishing, it might be some camping as well. Like, I love sports. I was into sports at one time, really, really big. But I kind of fell out of love with sports. So my shop is not your traditional barbershop. You walk in, sports on, and, you got jersey, sign, all that stuff. No, mine's is all outdoors. Like, literally everything out there. It doesn't even look like a barbershop until you see my barber chair.
You're like, are you in Bass Pro or what?
Yeah, a lot of people, they come in and they look and they're looking around. They're like, dang, man, did you get that? And I'm honest. I tell them no. A lot of it was given to me, but I got a couple pieces in there that are very near and dear to my heart. But here soon, I'll be going to pick up a model duck that I got this year.
Heck yeah.
I actually was able to get into a lot of model ducks this year, but I harvested a really, really, really pretty drake. He was really big. He was nice, big. So ended up getting him mounted, and I'll have him in the shop here soon, and I'll put him over the certificate because duck season this year, Odie picked up his first band, which is I'm ecstatic about still. Boom. And it was a model duck, and that's a whole that story is crazy. Getting that mounted, then I'm also getting a Osceola. I got my first Osceola this year, so I'm getting him mounted, a full mount, half strip on an oak limb. So
you have to throw a picture of that up.
Yeah.
I definitely am, man, for sure. Once I get them all done, and I get them in the shop and I get them placed how I want to, man, it's definitely gonna come together. I'm gonna have to invest in a bigger shop here in the next 2 years, though.
Hey, Brandon, I got a marketing I got a marketing campaign for you.
What's up?
Come to the outdoors to get a haircut at the shark capital of the world.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. I really like that a lot, man. I got some big things going on, so you might just see that in a video coming up here soon.
Boom! All right.
One thing that I was just thinking about, Brandon, I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but I get my haircut at this place just like this. It's really like I don't even know, kind of old school barbershop, just been there for however long. And it's just nothing special, really. It's just a country.
Small town.
Like, this Vietnamese lady cuts my hair, but it's like this country barbershop. You wouldn't even, it's a weird barbershop. But point of the story is they have a big buck contest every year. And it's like, friendly, like $20 buy-in, and whoever gets the biggest one and verifies it with a picture, wins or whatever, which I don't know if you've ever thought about doing something like that, but I've always thought it's kind of cool.
Man, listen.
Or have a brag board. A brag board.
Yeah. So I got listen, man, I don't know if I can do that because I got some young hunters. Like, I'm talking about like young boys that dads be putting them on some crazy stuff. I got one of my little clients, man. He come in and he is just like, he is ate up about 24/7 hunt. He ate up about my shop. He ate up about everything, right? So every time I see him, he shows me
Williamson Outfitters, located along the beautiful Gulf Coast of Florida, is a premier guide service with lodging that provides incredible coastal duck hunting, gator hunting, fishing, gigging, scalping, and custom boat tours along Florida's forgotten coast. They are family owned and operated with over 200 years of combined experience hunting and fishing along this incredible stretch of Florida. On a coastal duck hunt, you have an incredible chance at rare species like redheads, bluebills, buffleheads, fully plumed blue-winged teal, mottled ducks, whistling ducks, and several other species. The inshore bite is hot right now along Florida's forgotten coast. If you're planning a visit to the Florida Panhandle, call Williamson Outfitters to book a fishing trip right away. Targeted species include redfish, triple tail, trout, flounder, and more. Spots are filling up fast, so book today. Call or text 850-251-8650 or visit www.floridaducks.com.
Me something new. So he just got him a Rio out in Kansas.
Wow.
He shot his first mule deer in velvet last year, and man, I think he got like I think he got a whitetail. He got a huge whitetail. Him and his dad. I think his dad got a 7-point and he got a 9-point out there in Kansas. So like, I got some young clients, man. I don't know if I'll do the brag board, but we'll definitely do some. You know what I'm saying? Do some $20 biggest buck, or you know what I'm saying, and prettiest bird, or you know, if you can hit this bird this week. Yeah, man. I think I'm gonna do something like that. I like that.
That'd be cool, man. Yeah, I just always thought that was kind of neat.
Well, you know, one thing I remember, you know, when I was younger is, you know, before we got into these bigger sporting goods stores and stuff like that, really there was Kmart. All right. I mean, that was it. There was no Walmart. There was Kmart. And so your outdoor stuff, you got a Kmart. And you could always go back to the hunting department, and there would be a pegboard where you could bring your Polaroid. That's what you had. And you stuck that picture up there. Well, then like a lot of the archery shops and stuff I was part of started doing that, you know, and stuff like that. And I was like, man, that would be so cool if you could like, you know, like we started doing that at Cade's with who had that Polaroid that one time, like a mini Polaroid,
right? Yep.
Or something like that. I just love that. I just think it's such a cool thing where hunters, because you know everybody wants to puff their chest a little bit, you know, and fish too. You know, you can put fish up there, whatever it is. So
for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna start that this summer. Might possibly be biggest bass, man, because there's so many little ponds around here and stuff like that, and I can get my little clients out there on the water, and you know, I'm definitely, man, we're gonna have to get on the call outside of the park.
Sounds good.
You know one thing? It's just, forgive me for like just jumping in right here, but I want to ask it when I'm thinking about it. I don't think we talked about this last time. Do you get into frogging much?
Throwing a frog?
No. Going gigging for frogs.
All right, so listen, man. I'm gonna tell y'all something, and don't tell too many people this, okay?
Well, I'm gonna have to delete this out of the podcast.
You ain't even gotta delete it because I want everybody to hear. I am definitely afraid of them damn things.
Really?
I do not mess with frogs. I do not mess with snakes. I do not mess with lizards. And man, listen, I'm not definitely afraid of them, but okay, so put it like this: a toad, I can stand. Going gigging for those big bullfrogs, those are okay. But you know those Cuban frogs that we have?
Yeah, dude.
I cannot stand those things for nothing in the world. Only reason is because I had one jump off my door and hit me smack dab in my daggone face. And it's stuck there. Like, it's stuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I can't do it, man. I was over it from that point on. But those invasive frogs, man, I'm telling you right now, if I could get rid of every last one of them, I send them all back. I think they're Cuban.
Yeah, they are.
Send them all right back to Cuba, man. Every last one of them.
Well,
dude, that's hilarious.
And they eat the native green tree frogs, don't they?
Man, they eat all the good frogs.
Yeah. So
it's like I ain't really with that, you know. But a toad or something, you know, a toad run over my foot, you know, I'm gonna jump. But I ain't, you know, it is what it is. I ain't scared. I'm real. I'm a man. I can admit my faults.
Oh, my God.
That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff, man.
Dude, yeah, I never would have thought that we'd be talking about toads and frogs, but that's hilarious, bro. So how do you deal with alligators then? You can't be too fond of them, huh?
So, all right, so this season, was kind of rough for me, man, because I had surgery last June.
That's
I had
right. You
ACL.
tore your ACL, right?
Yes.
Yeah, man. So it was super rough. One, because I couldn't travel, so I couldn't really hunt with the crew like I wanted to. That was the biggest bummer ever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I just couldn't go nowhere because of the fact that I was out of the shop from June, July, and August. So that's the entire summer until school started back. I lost a whole lot of clientele in the time of me being back, being out. And then plus I was hurt, man. So
Mm-hmm.
when it came down to duck season, real duck hunters, or I won't even say real duck hunters, established duck hunters know that you need to be financially able to handle duck season. It's only 60 days, but you might spend $5 to $10 to $15,000 in 60 days
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
or longer, 90 days. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? And you might have saved that up all year just for certain trips out of state or, gas going here, gas going there, a little bit of emergency fund, booking an Airbnb, a plethora of things that go into duck hunting out of
Yeah.
state, So it was hard for me. So a lot of my duck hunting was in Florida last year. Pretty much all of it.
I'm jealous.
It was hit or miss. It was a lot, and when I say a lot, it was a diverse season. When I say a diverse season, nothing but bluebills, certain ponds and certain lakes, nothing but ringnecks. Barely seen any canvasbacks, barely seen any blue wings. That was
Wow.
absolutely nuts.
That's
So
weird, man.
I mean, it was some mornings, man. I didn't see no blue wings. I'm talking about no blue wings, no models. All I seen was doggone divers, and I'm talking about they doing it at the crack of dawn, bro. Like, I'm like, what in the world is going? Hundreds of them. I got videos in my phone where I sat there, and it's literally hundreds of divers just like dive bombing in on top of me and Odie. You can only shoot two of them, so we basically sat there and just watched the show.
Yeah, one
But,
volley might be done.
you was done. You get what I'm saying? But the Gators, man, this year was exceptionally crazy. Had two of them actually very, very, very close, a little bit too close for comfort. And it has changed my whole perspective on hunting at Merritt Island Lagoon.
Yeah.
It's a very famous place to hunt at. Ducks are always there. But you got to find them. And when you find them, it's going to be 10 or 15 other guys that have found those same amount of ducks because you can all scout from the same road. You understand?
Sure.
So unless you get in the boat and you really put in some, you put in some stick time, it's hard to get away from people.
Mm-hmm.
And then the most prevalent places are like, it's a lot of gators. So I've been hunting out there for 4 years and haven't had a close call at all until this year. It was about 4 or 5 of us, and the first one actually walked off of land and went into the water 20 feet away from us. We sat there all morning, and the only reason I seen that gator is because when he hit the water, I seen a long body. I was like, what is that? I was shining my light. He had to be like 8 or 9 feet.
No
He
way.
stayed there. I promise you, he stayed there until the light came up. As soon as all the shooting started going on, he went away. So he went to the other side of the canal, and then he moseyed on down. But what we didn't notice was it was another one right across the canal. So, like, not the canal, but right across the little slough that we was in. And my buddy was on his phone, and he was just looking down, and I really didn't see what was going on. And he looked down, he's like, man, what is that? And he thought it was like a dead duck floating at him, but it was a gator. And it was literally coming right. He jumped out of his chair and like backed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, holy shit. Oh my God, I can't believe this. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that was a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? Two in the same hunt. Like, I've seen them and they never really got close. That, they don't get too curious because the refuge is the refuge. Now, you talk about hunting different parts of Florida, more towards the middle of Florida, I would never take Odie. Never. Like, never. Like, some of those gators, you drop a bird, they'll go get that bird before you can even get in the canoe to go get it. So you might as well just go ahead, pay the tax man, let him get his little meal and get it out of the way. As a matter of fact,
yeah,
Crazy story is opening weekend, I went out with a buddy of mine and we hit a 3-man limit. We hit 20, we hit 20, no, we hit a 3-man limit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we hit these birds. We only picked up 8 birds.
No way, dude. That sucks.
When I say only picked up 8. So between the soft shell turtles, the gators, and I mean, we sat there and watched one damn near all morning, belly up. You know what I'm saying? And we went to jump in the boat to go grab it. Gone. I was like, man, this is crazy. I would never hunt Odie in a freshwater lake ever again. So, I mean, like I said, I've never had no close calls. The only close call I had was at Merritt Island Refuge, you know what I'm saying? Which is, you know, you should be precautious about taking your dog out there anyways, and I've always been precautious about it. But, yeah, I won't go out there until the temperatures are, like, really, really low. If we ever get them down here in Florida, but you know, you guys know it don't get too cold here, you know?
Oh yeah. I mean, shoot, it'd be 80 degrees sometimes in January, you know?
Oh, come on, man, and that's rough. So, you know, I ain't too much afraid of the gators. I give the gators their respect, but I will not play with them. You know, if it was outside the refuge, it would have been 2 dead gators. But at the refuge, they're protected, so you can't mess with those gators out there.
Yeah, man. You'll get a kick out of this. So the waterfowl biologist for the state of Georgia, she's also the biologist for alligators.
Oh, wow.
We're like, we were talking to her on the podcast because we hunted this spot, these impoundments that are public land in Georgia, and there were so many gators in there, and we're like, there was ducks in there too, but it's like, how are these ducks like even sitting in here? Like, we counted, and I'm not exaggerating, I mean, probably on the low end, like 30 or 40, like.
No, it was like 60 something.
Not small, like, or not big gators, but like, you know, 4 foot and under. And we're just like, dude, what is going on with the alligator population here? But it's just so contradictory to be like, yeah, you know.
Well, I think we said to her, I think we said something funny like, we need to get rid of the gators. She's like, no, we don't.
Yeah.
Or something like that. We were like, oh, you know, so. But
yes,
no, they're necessary to the ecosystem, you know, I guess, you know, and everything, just like everything else. But, you know, we just give them their space.
Yeah, you got to give them their space, man. But when you get the ones that, you know, they kind of get a little bit too curious, I call them dog eaters. The ones that have eaten dogs before, that'll come right up to you and don't care nothing about you. They're not looking at you. They're looking at your dog. Those are the ones that kind of need to be taken out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
they're dangerous.
You know, yeah, they're dangerous. They're dangerous to anybody. Dangerous to humans. Dangerous to animals. You know, I tell all my new clients that move down here, like, don't be careful of walking around ponds at night if you got a dog, and, you know, just get acclimated to Florida's outdoor life before you just feel like you just want to go explore, you know? So
100%.
I tell them that all the time.
So, hey, while we're on that, if you don't mind, like, share your experience, you know, like, if somebody's like, man, I want to go to Florida and I want to take my dog down there and go hunting, you know, what would you, like, what are some, like, the warning signs or things that you keep your dog out of, or just you know, just some precautionary measures you'd recommend to somebody?
I mean, bird hunting, when it comes down to, like, well, any type of hunting, you can be hog hunting, you can be coon hunting, you can be any of that. You just need to be very precautious around fresh water.
In the outdoors, every detail counts. See sharper, aim clearer. From the river's edge to the heart of the flooded timber, Hook and Bullet has your vision covered. Hook and Bullet's purpose-built optics are flawlessly crafted to give you an edge regardless of your outdoor pursuit. Use code ZeroDuck30 for 15% off a pair of Hook and Bullet sunglasses today.
Water, brackish water, you're still going to encounter a lot of gators, but it's more so going to be in freshwater lakes, freshwater ponds, anything fresh. Like, it's just, that's where they want to be at. For me, I'm trying my best not to hunt nothing over my shin, over my knee. I push it at my knee because I know Odie can still touch the ground, but I try not to hunt nothing over my knee. If I do hunt in stuff that I will be standing in, or, you know, it might be a little bit deeper than what I like, I'm not shooting nothing outside the decoys. Odie won't be going outside the decoys. Those birds will sit there and we'll go pick those birds up, you know? Like, I'm just being extra over precautious about it, because you just never know. Every body of water in Florida can potentially have a gator. I mean, my HOA pond is not a pond, it's a lake. I had a guy that lives on the pond. He was like, no, this is actually a lake connected to the St. John's, and whenever they do the overflow for the St. John's, this is one of the areas that the water comes to. So I was like, oh wow, that is very interesting. So a lot of lakes and a lot of ponds in Florida that even might be within a HOA are still connected some way, somehow to the St. John's through a tunnel system. So it doesn't matter where you're at. A gator can get to where you're at. You get what I'm saying? So you just have to be extra precautious about bringing dogs to duck hunt in Florida. If it was me and I'm coming from out of state, I'm not hunting water. I'm hunting a cattle field. I'm hunting a rice field. I'm literally hunting mud puddles, just to be secure about it. If I wasn't with somebody that was from the state and that was like familiar with it, I'd definitely just be over precautious about it, because you just never know, like you never know. I don't care what body of water you're in. You can be in a body of water that's 10 feet wide and 10 feet, 10 feet whatever and across and 3 or 4 feet deep. It might be a 4-foot alligator sitting in there. You never know. I mean, he ain't gonna tear your dog up, but at the same time, he might try it. You know?
Right.
Yeah, he might try it. That might be his first challenge. You never know. So you just got to be precautious about it coming to Florida in every way. You got to be precautious about the sun, being out in the sun too long. Middle of the summer, you need to stay hydrated. You and your dog need to stay hydrated as much as you can. Replenish your electrolytes as you lose them throughout the day, sweating and carry on. And it's a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't take in consideration when they do come here. Because, I mean, this is a tropical state. It just, that point blank period. And the further you get south, the wilder it gets.
You know what, Brandon? I'm going to pause right there and just mention, you just struck a chord that we don't talk much about, and that is that physical aspect of it. I won't forget. Remember, Tristan, we was down hunting that public land and Austin was dehydrated on that hunt?
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't dehydrated, but I get your point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
He was having his gallbladder was falling out on him.
Is that what was going on?
Yeah, during the middle of a duck hunt. It was something...
I thought he was. I just remembered as being dehydrated. But how many times have you watch our videos? I mean, dude, like when you watch that Teal Heaven video and look what Hunter's going through.
I'll give you an example right here. So, if you've ever hunted any of these tidal areas in Florida or South Georgia, like let's say you play the tide wrong, you didn't bring water, and it's a hot day. And then
it's a survival.
Then you got to wait 6 or 8 hours for the tide to come back up. You could really get in a situation where you're hurting,
Well, and you don't think about it, but man, that sun is beating down, right? And you might be like, remember that time in your birthday we were hunting? It was 80, but you guys were swimming in the pool. It was like 85 degrees.
Yeah, in Florida in November.
Yeah, in November, and yeah, you just don't think about that. I mean, because most people, I think, associate duck hunting with winter, fall, cold temperatures and stuff like that. And you do get those chilly days and stuff. The other thing that's a little crazy, I think that's a dramatic difference about Florida is that you just don't have wind, like you do in the Midwest. You know what I'm talking about, Brandon?
Do I know what you're talking about? I just came out from doggone Kansas turkey hunting, and I was the wind knocked me down going uphill. Okay, that was absolutely nuts. So I mean, yes, we don't have the wind that the Midwest and Central America. It just doesn't. It doesn't exist down here. I mean, it does when it's coming off the ocean, but usually if it's coming off the ocean, it's coming off the Gulf or coming off the Atlantic. When it meets right there in the middle of Florida, it's gonna cause a thunderstorm.
Yeah,
it's gonna cause some type of mixture, because you got cool air coming from up north in the Midwest, and then you got hot air coming down from Africa and coming up north. You know what I'm saying? So
and the St. John's
that's
River.
Another thing you got to be kind of smart about too is like knowing the weather here. Especially like right now. We coming up in the tropical storm season, so it's like, who knows how many hurricanes we'll have with that water warming up, like the temperatures that it's been.
Yeah,
absolutely, man. Hey, you just talked about mentioned that about Kansas, man, and I saw your post, and that was one of the main reasons I wanted to get you back on, like at this point in time, is just because that post was just like, I just read the whole thing and I'm like, damn, man, he really like went out there and grinded.
I read that.
And, you know, just put it all out there. And then sometimes you're not successful, man. So I just want to get into your turkey hunt, man. That was just.
Yeah, walk us through the experience, man. Let everybody on this podcast be a part of that, because I think that you're right, Tristan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was funny because I was just like, man, I ain't get to duck hunt that much, but I'm back full go now, so it is what it is. I'm about to put in for some out of state hunt. So I was just going through my phone and looking at different states and when they had drawings and all of that stuff. So I just so happened to put it in for Kansas, and I was like literally one day, like it was only a day before it was gonna be, you know, taken off. So I was like, I'm gonna just put in for it. Put in for it, wasn't expecting nothing. There was a couple other states that I put in for, and then a couple more that was already like sold out. So I was like, all right, cool. Well, a couple weeks later, boom, I win the drawing. I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. Holy crap. So ended up, you know, getting in contact with a couple different really, really, really cool guys. Jordy Summit was one of them. Got in contact with him, talked to him about Unit 1 in Kansas. I got one of my buddies I mentioned on the podcast last time, Caleb Hood. He got in contact with him. He gave me some really, really good pointers and advice and stuff. So I just basically started e-scouting areas in Northwest Kansas, Unit 1. Well, a lot of people was like asking me, why'd you pick Unit 1? Didn't really understand why they kept saying, you know, hey, be quiet. The dog was barking. I'm sorry. I didn't really understand why they kept asking me, like, why Unit 1? Why Unit 1? Well, Unit 1 is like a desert. It's really the prairies, like Great Plains, and there's no real tree lines. And when you do find a tree line, it's most for certain going to be a creek bottom on that tree line, and you might not have a tree line for, I don't know, 5 or 6 miles, and then you finally see one off in the distance or something like that. So it was a very different environment for me going out there. So as I was e-scouting, I was like dropping pins on all these weehaws, walk-in hunt areas that they have in Kansas for public land. So I'm looking at all of them. So I dropped pins on a lot of them, and it was just like, okay, cool. Talked to another buddy named Dave Temper. He gave me a lot of good pointers, and was just like, boom, I'm good. Talked to 3 or 4 guys, got some pointers, e-scouted, got everything I needed. I was like, you know what? I'm gone. I'm out there. So fast forward, I go out there. I was actually, go back a little bit, when I came up to Georgia for the Sitka event, I met a couple guys that were from Kansas. So ended up meeting them out there, and I got there the day before opening day. So I got there Tuesday. I drove straight there I didn't even stop. I stopped for gas, and that was it. That's a big mistake. I never do that again.
What was it, like 15, 16 hours or?
23 hours and 46 minutes.
Holy cow. Yeah, I forget you're coming from, New Smyrna.
Yeah, man. I'm coming from Middle Florida. So I get there Tuesday, like 5:30 in the morning, and ended up going to sleep for a little bit, woke up, put my clothes on, hit it. Boom, went to my first little weehaw, walked around, and then I like suddenly I just stopped, and I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Like, this is so open and so wide. That turkey probably seen me walk from that dirt road all the way down here, and then, you know, up this creek bottom and up this ridge and across this hill and across this cattle field and across this wheat field and across that corn field. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, you know what? I stopped in my tracks. I called my boy Caleb. I said, man, listen, how am I supposed to be scouting these birds? Like, they can see me from a mile away. He said, with the wind being so high right now, they're going to be in the field, in the open, because they, you know, or they're going to be near a creek bottom because they want to get where they can hear. So they're going to stay near a creek bottom where they can really hear and they can see. If it wasn't so much wind, they would be out in the field and you would see them and you can glass them from the road and you can figure out a way to get in there. But if I was you, I would just kind of just see where I can see them from the truck. I really wouldn't get out too much, like booger them up. So Instantly went back to the truck, and my boys called me. They was at the room, so I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna meet y'all. So boom, I go back, I meet them. We scout a couple other places, and it was really cool because I had my boy Harrison, he's from Kansas, and then my boy Briley, he's from Oklahoma, and they're familiar with that part of the country. So ended up going back to the walk-in area that I had initially went to. I seen birds, I seen mule deer, I seen whitetail, I seen pheasant, I seen coyotes, I seen everything.
Dude, I've been happy right there.
Oh man, I was like ecstatic. I was like, holy moly, man! I drove 23 hours and this is what I find, and not one hunter was on this walk-in area. Like the whole time I was there.
And you're on like terrain that is so 100% opposite of what you're used to in Florida. You know what I mean?
Opposite.
You know what I'm talking about,
man.
with that thick jungle environment. You know?
It is nothing. You can't see 10 feet into a wood line here. You can see 30 miles over there.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Yeah.
So
the perspective, man.
It was totally different. So like me and the guys, we go back to the walk-in area, and I was like, man, I think this is gonna be a good area. It's got water in the bottom, like literally fresh running water. About, I don't know, half a mile down, there's a big lake, and it just breaks off into these small little creek bottoms, and it goes all the way down, probably about 2 or 3 miles. And I pretty much have walked this whole thing. So we go back. And now we're walking the opposite side of the creek. So now we're walking near the field, and we get to this bowl that I didn't walk to. And I was like, oh, man, that's what a bowl looks like. It literally looks like a bowl in the middle of a field. Anything sitting down there, if it was a turkey in that thing and you were sitting on a ridge top looking over at another field, you would never see what was down in there unless you went over there, right?
Yeah.
So...
Now let me ask you something, Brandon. Now, is that something that, like, when you were talking to like some of the folks that were helping you out, was that one of the things they were like, hey man, look for a bowl? I mean, yep. All right.
Bowls, creek bottoms, ridges,
like a low-lying area type of saddle type of thing is what? Okay, all right.
Yes, sir. Anything where a tree line, where you're gonna see a tree line, it might be a bowl in that ridge. It might be a deep ridge. I'm talking about 50 or 60 feet down to a creek bottom. Gotcha. That's only 5 feet across. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So we end up walking over towards that bowl. We get in the bowl and we walk across, and we're coming back up.
It's in the teens that morning, and maybe you're chasing ducks or geese. But now it's September and it's 85 degrees and you're hunting early teal or geese. As a waterfowler, you need dependable weather protection that will not break the bank. Founded in 1996, Frog Togs is not only the leader in breathable waders technology, but a company you can depend on to keep you warm and dry, head to toe, no matter your hunting environment. Stay bone dry by using discount code ZD315 for 15% off not only your first purchase, like most discount codes, but how about every single purchase you make from now until December 31st, 2024?
Man, my boy Briley gets on the other side, and he was like, oh, man, bro, we got to leave. We got to get out of here. It is a big, mature bird coming right at us.
What?
So he was like, you want to look at him? I was like, no, let's go to the other side of the bowl, and we'll glass him. So we went over there, and we was probably 150, 200 yards away from him. I mean, this turkey, he was either like really bred up or he had been fighting a lot because his chest feathers was all gone, but he had a rope. I'm talking about, it had to be at least 11, 12 inches. So, we sat there for a second, but it looked like he was coming our way. So we kind of rolled off the hill and walked back another 100, maybe 150 yards to another hilltop and kind of tried to glass him. So from that point on, we never seen the bird again. So I'm thinking he either went down in the ridge bottom or he went back up to the opposite. He went back the same way he came in because he might have seen us. So, besides that bird, I seen plenty of birds there. I just wasn't able to close the deal. The next morning, me and the guys went out and we sat right there where we seen him at. We called, we heard him. He probably had to be maybe 600-700 yards away. So we sat there for a while. ended up getting up, tried to run and gun him, but he ended up being on across the street on private. So I could never get the people's phone number to call and try to get over there to hunt him. So we ended up going to a couple walk-in areas, couple public land areas, tried to get on a bird. He ended up seeing me from like 300 yards away, and it was funny to me because I was like, this is absolutely crazy. Like, this bird literally seen me, and by the time he seen me and I popped up and looked at him, he probably was 300 yards away from me, just running like a scared chicken, man. Like, God.
You just picture it too.
Yeah, man. So it was crazy.
He looked like a Roadrunner. Beep, beep.
Yeah, he was gone across that field. I ended up hunting Wednesday, Thursday, and then I hunted Friday morning. Thursday and Friday, I was by myself, so I went to a couple different walk-in areas and then realized that I can hunt a little bit further east than where I was hunting. So scouted a couple different areas for Friday morning. Seen some birds over in that area, but like I said, I really wasn't able to get on them, just being not too educated and, on the area, and my first time being over there and just learning a lot and, going through trial and error, some mistakes on my own, and, it was a lot, but I learned a lot. It was an experience that I'll never take away. I want to try to get back over there before the 31st because that's when my tag is through May 31st. So I'll try to get back over there for a couple more days. If not, it's perfectly fine. I got a year. I bought a year license for Kansas, so I'll definitely be putting in for some mule deer, whitetail. I'll go out there and pheasant hunt. I'll take Odie out there and we'll go let him run across the doggone plains and, bust a couple covers up or something like that,
That's great, man. That sounds like, just a good testament to getting out and, really just doing something on your own, man. Like,
yes.
It's hard, we talked about this on the last podcast, like how it's hard to get into hunting unless you have somebody that can like show you the ropes and things like that. And like, that's an example. I mean, I know you're an outdoorsman, but man, you're going to somewhere completely different. Like, it's not like you're a 30-year turkey hunter that, knows all this stuff. It's just a good testament to like, hey, sometimes you just got to get out and go learn, if you really want it that bad.
Yeah, no.
If you want it that bad, you just go do it. I mean, you find people with the same like mind. Like, you talk to people, you become friends with them, you hunt with them. Like, I'll forever be friends with Harrison and Bradley. My first big game elk hunt will probably be with them. Why? Because when I was with Bradley, he won a Mexico elk hunt in like one of the most lifetime units you can ever win it in. And I just thought being with them at that moment was cool as hell. You get what I'm saying? Like,
for
shit.
sure.
Like, I don't, I mean, the bird is cool, bro, but when can I go on an elk hunt? It was like, once you start working out. When you start working out and you get your body right for the mountains, then you can come elk hunt with us. And I said, that's fair,
Yeah, get on that Cam Haynes, bro.
You gotta get on it. Them boys told me it's something serious, and you just don't want to be out there sucking wind and holding people up, and you the last one, you the weakest link in the chain. And I know about I was in the military, so I definitely don't want to be no weak part of no chain. I gotta be strong, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Yep. No, but I love. If y'all follow us enough, I enjoy that solo time you get with the outdoors, no matter what you're doing, and a lot of times it might just be you and I'm talking. Brandon, you do this so much. I think you're just such a great example of that because it just might be you and Odie in the boat, and you're out there, or you're on a duck hunt, or now you're out there scouting turkeys in a totally different type of terrain, or I enjoy that same thing, and and I think it's intimidating for a lot of people. We're all built different, okay? So for some people that really want to do it, their brain is gonna block, okay? And this is the same thing professionally with everything we do as humans. Honestly, is sometimes people have a fear of failure, okay, and the fact of the matter is, if that's you and you're listening to this, you can't. What was that saying? You can't have victory without failure.
Yeah,
it's impossible. It's actually impossible. Like like scientists have proven that it's impossible, you know. But the thing is that when we hear stories like what you did, this is what I thought about when I read your post. I thought, man, there's people reading that have that fear of failure that are going, well, man, Brandon did it. I can do it.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? So I just wanted to make that point about that.
And Brandon, you said something before we got on live, man. You're like, you know, you're a, you know, open book, basically is what you said as far as being an outdoorsman. And I just think that sums up what your post was about, man. Because, like, you know, especially with social media, like, you know, I'm sure everybody can, you know, point to somebody on social media that's like, always, you know, it's always the highlights, always 200-inch deer or whatever, but you don't see very many posts like you posted, you know, of just like the true reality of something not being successful, you know?
No.
Yeah, man. It's important to be transparent. A lot of people are very afraid of transparency because they're afraid of how the outside world is going to look at them, when really and truly the outside world could care less about your private life.
Yep.
So it's like, why don't you be transparent about it? Because in 24 hours, they're going to forget about what you talked about 24 hours ago.
Yes.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
So if I can be as transparent as possible and show somebody else that it really doesn't matter, man, like you're helping somebody else in the long run by telling them the absolute truth. So yes, I drove 24 hours. Yes, I was there for 4 days. Yes, I got discouraged. Yes, I was down on myself. But at the same time, I gained a lot that I would have never gained if I never would have took that 24-hour drive.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like at the end of the day, you know, we can hunt with a plethora of crews. We can hunt with all of our buddies. We can hunt with, you know, our dads, our uncles, our grandpas. You get what I'm saying? It's all fun and it's all nostalgic and it all brings back memories and it's all worth it at the end of the day. But most of the hunts that you're always gonna remember and go back to are solo hunts by yourself when it was just you and God. That's it. It was you and nobody else. Like it was literally you and nature, you and the universe, you and whoever you feel like you want to believe in is your maker or whatever. It was you and that person. You get what I'm saying?
Man,
so if you can't connect with yourself in the outdoors on a solo hunt, just you by yourself, this is not the thing for you. Whether it's hunting, whether it is fishing, whether it is hiking, whether it is gardening, it doesn't matter. If you can't do it by yourself, that's just not the thing for you. It might be something else that you can do by yourself, but you know, you're like, that's not my thing. Well, you know,
which is fine.
Is my thing.
Which is fine. Well, yeah. I mean, we could all have different entry points and levels because we all know those folks, right? That are like there's a glass half full. You know what I mean? You're just like
exactly.
But you know what? I think we deal with that with all socialism that we deal with in life, right? You know what I mean? You have folks that you socialize with because you have these like qualities, right? You do the same thing with, and that's one thing that's really great about the outdoors or anything, I guess, that we get into is that you can always find somebody that has got like-minded, you know, somebody that you relate to. And that's about, you know, I relate to somebody like you because I'm a psycho just like you are, you know, and I love that. I love that. But you're so right, dude. You make such a great point.
You got to, man. And, you know, whenever, you know, you are in the outdoors or whatever industry, just like I'm in the barber industry, man, you don't want I seen a post that was like, man, when you build up people around you, even if it's a team or just, you know, you got people that you're going to go out with and do stuff, you want A players. You don't want C players. You don't want B players.
Yep.
Like weekend hunters to me are B players. I'm not a weekend hunter. I am a daily hunter and fisher. When I get off work, I come home, I see what needs to be done at the house. If there's nothing that needs to be done at the house, I'm literally on the water. You know what I'm saying? So like,
I love you so much.
I tell guys in the shop, like, you know, they're like, oh, you hunt, you fish, huh? I was like, yeah, but it's not a weekend thing for me. And I get that little slow little head nod, and I'm like, yeah, I hunt and fish every day. And they're like, every day? And every day. Like, my poles are on the back of the truck right now. Odie stuff is in the back of the truck.
Hey,
I got
24/7 hunt, bro.
Right.
Man, I'm all day, every day. I got to do something to connect myself with nature in some type of way and bring myself back to reality. This is my reality,
Yeah.
So I got to make sure I connect with it and I can make sure I'm on the right vibrations. I'm on the right levels, because we all go through things. We all go through ups and downs. So, this is something that just near and dear to my heart. Like, I'm about to get back into my gardening here soon. So, man, listen, I'm definitely into it. So I tell people all the time, just get into something outside, get outside, connect more with yourself. And once you can understand who you are, then you can more so help somebody else understand. And,
Do you want coffee that doesn't suck? Get the Duck. Dirty Duck coffee is made specifically for the waterfowl enthusiast. Enjoy flavors like Morning Wood, Dark Dynasty, Cinnamon Teal Snickerdoodle, and First Flight to unlock the flavor that you'll enjoy in the blind for years to come. Our friends at Dirty Duck Coffee Company are now offering all Zero Duck 30 followers a 15% discount when you use code ZeroDuck15 on your next order.
Find their happiness,
Yep,
Yeah, man.
Yep. Well, and think about this for a second. If you're that person that you don't understand what we're talking about, right? You're just like, well, I've never went out on my own, right? Yep. I don't know. I want to feel what you guys are feeling, but I've never done that before. So, as Brandon said, you got to just go do it, dude. You just got to. Everybody's got something to overcome, right? Like you see it on Fear Factor or whatever. Like, oh, I'm afraid of heights. I'm not. Whatever. We all have something, and sometimes it's just we need a little nudge. We need to hear about this. Oh, somebody else did it. I can do it. That kind of thing. And man, if you're listening to this and that's who you are, it's okay to be bold enough and go out there and screw it up. Just be respectful, ask a lot of questions, stop by the local Greasy Spoons and have a cup of coffee with some of the old timers. Yeah. Just do your due diligence when it comes to that part. And you'll find that most of the time, most people are good. Most people, if you're sincere and you're really like, man, I just want to learn. I don't even want to hunt right now. I just want to learn from what you know about this area, this public land, this private land, whatever it is. If you take that approach, I haven't been ever wronged. Have you?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't, if you take it from a very humble approach. Mm-hmm. So just do that and promise you. I mean, Tristan and I talk about all the time how when we were so intimidated to go out to hunt Arkansas public land for the first time, I mean, all we were watching was boat races and all this stuff. And I don't know about you, Tristan, but I personally was very intimidated. I was just like, dude,
I'm out on boat races.
Yeah, but from a level of these guys are a well-oiled machine. I don't know how I'm going to go out and compete with that. Mm-hmm. And really it just took us going out there and getting our butts kicked. And we came away with friendships that have lasted a lifetime. Mm-hmm. And we've been in a wedding, one of our best friends, Kade, all this stuff, all because we took that step. And to me, that's the most important part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first initial step. You can't think about all the outside factors. The outside factors is what slows you down, Yeah. Once you get there and you see it and you realize, oh man, 99% of the stuff I was worried about won't even ever come to fruition. So what am I doing? I need to just go do it, So, but anybody should be intimidated with Arkansas public land. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, it's a different beast.
It is.
Yeah, those boys, like I thought it was amazing how, I was out at where was I? I think I was at open season one night, and I actually met like a real true live hole runner. I thought that was like the biggest mythical thing ever. He was like, nah, man, He's like, nah, man, I go run the hole and that's about it. I don't hunt. I said, what?
Yeah, bro.
You are nuts. He said, no, I get paid good money. I said, oh, and then, then you get the scoop on, well, he boat race and, he does this and he does that. So he got the fastest boat. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
It's like, oh, okay, that's how all that ties in. He been racing boats since he was like 15 or 14. It's like, oh, he's like you said, a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
It's like you really can't go into that type of arena thinking that you're going to compete. You just need to go in there like, hey, I need to learn from you so that therefore in a couple more years, I can be a well-fine-tuned oil machine working, in every which way without a fear or without a doubt that, oh man, I can't do this, So
be respectful.
That's very...
Like the very first time that we showed up to this one popular WMA, when we got there, we didn't go out do anything until about 10:30, and the hunting was done at 12. But we did that. We could have. You hear about it all the time. These out-of-staters come in after sunrise and blowing ducks out of holes and stuff like that. We didn't even step foot on the WMA out of our vehicles until like 10:30. And then we kept it all on foot because I'm like, the last thing I'm going to do is mess up a well-oiled machine. What I mean? And Tristan and I, honestly, if I have to be honest, we were guilty that trip of setting up too close to people we didn't know we were. Honestly, we didn't know we were, but luckily we made a great friend, and we're still great friends with him today. That he kind of like, we just told him, hey, we're new here and stuff like that, and he helped us out, and Tristan got his first mallard, which was the highlight of the whole doggone thing. Just one mallard, and
honestly, for us, like, we plan on going out there for a week and like just spending the first few days just scouting and stuff, and like, we were just like, man, if we could just get a mallard, like one mallard, that would be,
between the both of us,
that would make the trip, and
But we walked 48 miles.
Yeah, because we ended up having boat trouble, and we're like, man, there's no way we could beat these guys to anywhere back in there. So we're like, we'll just walk it. It's like two miles each way, and we ended up finding a
thunderstorm,
awesome wood duck hole, and had a good little trip.
Yeah, we had an awesome wood duck hunt, so all the purists out there helped us out. But and honestly, but the point being is just that, man, you just got to go do it, and I think the most innovative way to go about it is just go out there. If you got a WMA you want to go to, pick a boat ramp, go out there, and don't even hunt. Just go out there and pull up in the boat ramp and just watch how people do what they do, because watch the well-oiled machines. And when they come back, be respectful, talk to them. They're probably not going to tell you anything about any truth about what they saw, but just say, hey, I didn't want to go out and hunt. It's my first time here. I'm just here to learn a little bit. Any tips you can give me? Something like that, just don't be
a know-it-all.
A know-it-all. Exactly.
Well, hey, Brandon, we want to be respectful of your time, man. And I know, you got a job and you got a dog and all that stuff too, man. But hey, I wanted to get into, just the up and down it's been with, Odie, and just a dog that you've really built from the ground up, and put all this love, and anybody that follows, knows how much that dog means to you and stuff. So I just wanted to, get into some of that, man, the whirlwind it's been recently.
Yeah, man, like 2 months ago, he got out of the fence, him, and I got another dog. I got a little bully. She's a pocket pit bull, so she's like 13, 14 inches. I've had her. She'll be 12 this year, but she don't act like she's 12. So they ended up going out, getting out of my fence, and I live in an HOA that's on a pretty busy road. The road is down at the end of my block. And he ended up getting out, and they ran across that road. And they got across one way fine, and then once they was coming back to the house, Odie, he wasn't so successful. He ended up getting hit at 50. I think the lady was going 55 miles an hour. It's on a 35 mile an hour road. Hit him. He spun. Had two seizures. Had really bad road rash. Had a tear in his lung, bruised liver, shattered. It's basically shattered his his left front leg. It didn't shatter. It snapped it in two, and then it completely snapped in half. So I didn't know none of this because obviously they got out of my fence. So I leave my sliding glass door open because I got a fenced in yard. So they just go in and, they come out as they please and stuff like that. So ended up my other dog came in and she sat right in front of me. And I was like, where's Odie at? So I go outside, I look, I see the doggone fence busted open and immediately jump in the truck with my whistle and I'm calling his name and all of that good stuff. And I get to the top of my neighborhood and the people was like, man, are you looking for a brown dog? I was like, yeah. They was like, well, he just got smashed by a car.
Oh
and some lady picked him up and they're taking him to the emergency room right now. I was devastated. I did 110 pretty much the whole way to the ER. Just devastated, blaming myself for, how did I let him get out? Well, ended up getting there. Yeah, man, it was crazy, bro. Ended up getting to the ER, and I got there just in time, probably about 5 minutes after the people dropped them off. They were still there, so I was thanking the lady and her husband, and they basically did they went half a mile up the road, turned around, and came back because they said they seen the lady hit them. Nobody helped. They went all the way up the road, made a U-turn, came back. When they came back to pick him up, Odie had so much adrenaline running through him. He got knocked out, had a seizure, came back to, jumped up, ran down the road, and he was basically trying to come back home, but he went the opposite way. And he went the same exact number of houses the opposite way and went to the fence and kind of hid on a house and was trying to get in the fence because he thought it was a house.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man, they took a towel, threw it over him, threw him in the truck, and got him to the hospital, got him to the emergency vet. I got there, and by the time I got there, they had just taken him back and was trying to get him all calmed down and all of that type of stuff. So it was crazy, bro. It was a whirlwind. I still blame myself for it, just leaving the fence. I should have checked the fence before. I let them outside like that. Just, everyday things happening, just, getting complacent about things that, everyday life, just getting off in the same routine. So ended up seeing him probably about 15 to 20 minutes after they got him back. And he was basically knocked out and breathing heavy, panting, and was just trying to tell these ladies, listen, this dog is very important to me. Do whatever you got to do to save his life. It is what it is. I don't know what happened. I'm just thankful for, being here and him being here right now. So I was pulling up my Instagram and I was showing the ladies his retrieve from Oklahoma, where it was a 400-yard retrieve. And as soon as 24/7 Hunt songs start playing, bro, he opened his eyes and popped up and looked right at me. The ladies were like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Everybody, the nurses started crying because they thought he was out of there. His temperature was rising. They couldn't get him to calm down. And as soon as that video played and the song came, I can't forget. It was 24/7 Hunt song. His eyes popped open and he looked right at me and my girlfriend, and I just bawled. I was just crying my eyes out, man. So he ended up having to stay. He had to have surgery. He had a plate and a rod put in his leg. And he was up that same night walking around with a cast on.
Aren't they so tough?
Night.
My gosh, bro. They are so tough.
Yeah, man. That same night he got hit, not even 12 hours later, he was up walking around, and they told me it was yeah, it was crazy. It was nuts. But I mean, fast forward to today, they've taken the rod out of his leg, so now he's putting a lot more pressure on it. Doctor told me that we can get into a lot more extensive walks and extensive workouts. He should be hunting by September. They told me he'll be hunting in 10 weeks, but I'm not really worried about it. If he don't ever pick up a bird again in his life, I'm fine with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
it's just point blank period.
That's your boy.
That's my boy, so it cursed me when it happened, and it made me really realize how much of an attachment that, us hunters have with these bird dogs. They're part of our family. They truly are a part of the family. So when something happens like that, it doesn't just affect you. It affects everybody that dog has touched. Like, I can't tell you how many people I've hunted with and they've never seen a dog work before. So to see a dog work and then it changed their whole mind about duck hunting, and it was just a whole roller coaster of emotions that I went through for like a month straight, because he wasn't putting no pressure on his leg, and that was bothering me for a while. And then once they took the pin out, it was a long rod. The rod was actually the same. It was from his paw to his elbow.
Wow.
So they took that rod out and he started putting pressure on it, and now he's a wild man. He back to the firecracker that I know, jumping over the couch, running around.
And who did that for you? I mean, I think give him a shout out right now. I mean, who what was the name of the clinic, or if you don't mind giving them a shout out, because that's awesome.
It was Alliance Veterinary Center. So it's an emergency vet right here in Port Orange. Matter of fact, let me look it up real quick on my phone. Yeah, man, because Atlantic, that's not it.
They saved your dog's life.
Basically, yeah, it was. Basically, they saved his doggone life, man. Yeah, that's it right there. Alliance Veterinary System, a veterinary. Yeah, that's it. Alliance Veterinary Hospital. So it's a 24-hour hospital. That it's 24 hours. It's two different places. So you got a night crew and then a day crew. So the Alliance crew, they were the crew that took care of Odie the whole time. And big shout out to all the ladies that work there and Dr. His tongue is right on the tip of his name is on the tip of my tongue right now, but I cannot call it out. But his actual doctor that came in, and a big shout out to him. He really gave me a lot of confidence and was like, man, this dog is a very strong dog. Like I don't have no worries. Like, he'll be hunting back in 10 weeks and he'll be back to picking up birds. And it was a lot, but I'm just glad he's still with me. I'm glad I got another chance to hunt with him. Just gives me a great appreciation for a bird dog. Hopefully here soon, if I can find the right female, I'm actually gonna, I'll breed him one time just so I can get a pup off of him. And yeah, man, and continue the journey. Start the journey over once again with another pup. So we'll see. That's in the near future. But as of now, he's about, I would say, a little over halfway, through everything he's going through, and his healing process, about 3/4 of the way. So by next month, we'll be swimming again, and we'll be picking up bumpers and doing long retrieves, and we'll be doing some good workouts. So everything is on the up and up now. It was a real traumatic time for me, but definitely, very thankful, very blessed to have him still with me, and, be able to hunt with him once again in September, have him running after some doggone doves and, doing all that good stuff. But, a doggone hit, I think it might have made him a little bit dumber now. So I say that all the time. Like, man, I don't know if that hit. I don't know what that hit did to you, because he's more quiet now. Like, he don't really. He's not timid at all. He's just quiet. I don't know. Unless the only time he'll bark is around my other dog. So I'm very curious to see what he'll do this hunting season once I start shooting and all of that stuff, because he's not one of those quiet dogs, but he's not one of those loud dogs either. Like. If I went, when we hunt together, you'll be like, man, Eazy, this dog is perfect. To me, it's like, if he don't shut up, he ain't really loud, you know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't even making no noise. You looking at me like, what are you talking about, man? Leave him alone, So I'm curious to see during September dove season, how we do, but I'll have him out at the skeet range, and he'll have plenty of shots to ring out over his head, and what I'm saying, around him and stuff like that. So we're gonna definitely get into some serious training this season, because it ain't never too late to teach an old dog new tricks. You just gotta put a little bit more effort in. And he ain't no old dog. He's still very much so young that I can still embed some good quality into him. It's just I need to, just be a little bit more serious about it. That's all. But after, like I said, after this little incident, a bird dog is a bird dog, and if he can go pick up a bird and bring it back to me, and I ain't got to take my butt and walk 50, 60, 70, 100 yards out there to go do it, thank you. I appreciate it. You did your job, and you will get a treat after this.
Yes. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Yeah, for sure, man. Well, man, I just can't wait till the day that I hope that there's a day that we can get out there and lock arms and get out in the outdoors together, whatever we're doing, whether it's just camping, hunting, fishing, whatever it is, man. And
man,
you're an inspiration, bro. You are a true inspiration.
You know what?
Y'all give me some dates and I'll come up, man. Just do that, y'all. It's summertime. I really don't have too much going on. At the same time, I have a lot going on, but for the right people, you can get all of my time.
Man, that'd be awesome. And one thing that's definitely going to happen one of these seasons is next time, because we're always trying to plan our Florida duck hunting trips around like pulling permits and stuff, and a lot of them are within an hour of where you are at, Brandon. One of these times I'm going to get in the studio and have you give me a fade, because I actually still got hair and my dad doesn't. So
yeah, no, bro, the best thing you're giving me is a shave, bro. You're just going to shave it all down for me.
Don't worry about it, man. Listen, I'm the best barber in my little area. You know what I'm saying? I will get you will come.
I love
out.
that area too, but I love New Smyrna Beach, New Smyrna. I love all that. We used I used to be down there a lot because we had an office in Ormond Beach there off of I can't remember that exit right there by the Harley Davidson dealership.
Off 95.
Yeah, Ralph 95. There's a big Harley Davidson dealership there. And we'd stop in Ormond Beach a lot. I had an office there, but I loved going down to Ormond Beach. And I know Tristan, isn't that like a place like it's like a big shark tooth place and stuff? People go there.
Shark bite capital of the world, New Smyrna.
Yeah, but a lot of people definitely get a lot of shark teeth there. I mean, justly so, I guess. But no, it's a beautiful area, man. It's a beautiful part of Florida. I love it.
Yeah, man, I love my area, man. Like I hope to never leave here, and hope to, always live in this area. I'll have property, somewhere else in the country where, I can definitely go and stay and have some beautiful ducks and deer and all that other stuff. But Florida is just a place that's just, it's home. I can't get away from it, man. Like, as much as I don't like the mosquitoes and can't stand early season hunting, and it's 90 degrees out there in teal season, and doggone bow season, the deer already have rutted, and it's like, man, holy crap, you got everything against you, but you still love it. I love it, man. I'm surrounded by water. I can go out anytime I want, so I can fish 365 days of the year for any type of species I want to, So it's like, it don't really get no better. I know Louisiana sportsman paradise. I'm not taking nothing away from Louisiana. But ask me, Florida is real sportsman
dude.
paradise.
The FL, give a big shout out to the FL. I mean, I grew up in the Midwest, and so that's always been a part of my heart. But always a part of my heart will be the marshes of Florida. I mean, the woods and the marshes of Florida is something that's just, it's such a different ecosystem completely. It's such just an incredible different ecosystem. I don't think that I can ever not love it.
Yeah, man, I love it. I'll never not love Florida, man. Like, it's like I said, it's my home. I can do everything here. Duck hunting might not be the greatest, but you can still go out and shoot you a limit if you put in some work.
That's right.
Deer might not be the biggest, but if you go to the right area and you put in some work and you talk to certain people and you can get permission, you can get some trophy class deer in Florida.
Right.
Like, it just take a little bit more effort and a little bit more legwork to get things done in Florida than it is anywhere in the country. So if you can do it in Florida, you can do it anywhere. That's my whole
100%.
motto.
Boom.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. Well, thank you so much. And
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It was a blast having you back on again, Brandon. And tell everybody where they can find you, man.
You can find me at Eazy Livin 11 on Instagram. Pretty much Eazy Livin 11 on all social media platforms. Instagram is a platform that I'm always on. Or you just put in my real name, Brandon Thompson, and you will definitely see Eazy Livin Studios pop up, which is my barbershop on Instagram at Eazy Livin Studios. But you know, you can find me easy, man. Put just like my name, Eazy. You can find me easy. EazyLivin 11 on Instagram. Make sure you follow me, hit me up, message me. You got any questions, anything, man. I'm one of those guys that I'm not afraid to get back with you. Might take me a couple weeks. You might go to the request box, but just be patient with me, man. Be patient.
And you know what? In closing, if I'm down there on a vacation and I need a sweet trim, what's that address? What's that address?
536 Canal Street, New Smyrna Beach, Florida. I am on the corner of US 1 and Canal in the Canal Street Plaza.
Boom.
So you can't beat it. You can't miss it. Downtown New Smyrna. It's only about a quarter mile long, about 7 or 8 blocks. So, you know, just give me a holler, man. Come see me anytime. I'm always at the shop.
Just hit that A1A and you'll find him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hit A1A, or better yet, 95 New Smyrna Beach exit. Take that exit all the way straight and don't deviate. You cannot.
We love you, Brandon, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Man, I love you boys too. Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure. Please come down and hang out. Let's get some dates together so we can finally meet up. You know, just fellowship, man.
Absolutely, man.
Fellowship.
Yes, sir.
All right, Brandon. Appreciate it, man.
I've been
Yes, sir, always.
I've been hellbound riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.